Senator Alan, going to the Department of Foreign Affairs as announced by the President, stable na ba ang Senate presidency ni Senate President Coco Pimentel o may threat pa rin coming from the LP bloc?
Well, as of now, siguro meron, hindi naman nawawala, may konting misunderstanding, may tampuhan, pero I don't think it is enough to warrant or to have a kudeta in the Senate leadership. As of this time, most of the problems are being trashed out naman. No? So I don't think there's any threat as of this time for or a need for a change of leadership. I would say that I'm satisfied, quite satisfied with the leadership of Senator Coco Pimentel, but I think he's still new to the job. He has admitted that he told me that tulungan mo ako pag may nakita ka. If you have any suggestions of any of our colleagues have anything, any issues, you let me know. So I think still adjusting, pero I think it will improve from in the coming months. Hindi ko na siguro sabihin siguro kung ano man yung mga tampuhan, but siguro sometimes yung mga comes with territory, no? Ano lang yan, siguro yung courtesy of telling a certain senator that meron dito ganito, no? Small things lang, very petty, no? But we're hoping that this will all be resolved in the coming months.
But are you saying sir, there are senators unhappy with senators?
Siguro naman lang on maybe meron lang ng mga naging issue, but not really but not that big to say that they want him out, no? So I don't think there is that clamor, no, from anybody, even from the liberal bloc, from the block of Senator Soto, and from our block. I have not heard of any rumblings, no, of any clamor for change of leadership.
So stable yung presidency ni Senate President Pimentel?
I would say so. It is stable at this time. To be back in the Senate again after forced vacation, but I would say that probably it came at a very good time. Sabi ko, it came 3 days. The acquittal came 3 days before Christmas, so at least I felt the spirit of Christmas even for the 3 days prior to Christmas, no? I have to be honest with you, siyempre it's the best time of the year, diba? It's time for celebrations, pero it's really hard to celebrate if you have something in mind, no? If you're worrying about something. So I would consider the acquittal as one of the best Christmas presents I've ever received. So I'm back again. I'm ready to go back this January 16 once session resumes.
So sir, ngayon effectively hindi ka pabalik sa Senate, sa session pa, or effectively balik ka sa Senado ka na?
I think effectively, when the acquittal was handed out last December 22, my suspension was already lifted as well. So I think I'm already the suspension was already lifted once the order was given. The decision was handed down.
So kailangan pa ba magpalabas ng order para do sa lifting ng suspension?
Well, I do not know. I guess it's automatic. I'm not a lawyer, but probably it's automatic na yun because parang retroactive, no? Once you are acquitted, they think you are reinstated.
Gusto ko lang tanungin sa General De La Rosa kung okay na kayo. Kasi po sa nangyayari nga kanina ho na nakikinig ako ng hearing na tinanong ni Senator Lacson, ano ang kakaiba ngayon? Sabi nyo na yung suporta ng Pangulo ay isang malaking moral booster sa ating pong mga kapulisan. Tama ho ba?
Hindi lang po suporta ng Pangulo, Your Honor, pati yung Senado, pati yung mga congressman, pati yung mga local government units. Talagang na-embolden kami magtrabaho dahil nakita namin, grabe yung suporta ninyo. Lahat po, nagtutulungan na ngayon, Your Honor, kaya magpasalamat po kami.
Ang gusto ko lang tanungin, kasi para ang lumalabas na ang mga pulis ay, kumbaga gusto lang nilang matuwa ang kanilang mga superior, ang kanilang pong siguro hanggang Pangulo, ay tanong ko lang, i-risk ba ng ordinaryong pulis ang kanilang karir, ang kanilang yung mga benepisyo, ang kanilang buhay para lamang matuwa o maging satisfied ang kanilang superior? I-risk ba? Sa tingin nyo ba i-risk ng isang ordinaryong pulis yan?
Diyan po nakikita ang leadership ng PNP, Your Honor. How you motivate your men. Ako, sabi ko sa kanila, I'm willing to die anytime. Pwede nyo kong patayin anytime. Basta ako, ibubuhis ko yung buhay ko sa gira ng droga. So, nakikita ko po, Your Honor, yung aking mga kapulisan po ay sumunod sa akin. Marami na pong pulis ko namatay, may mga wounded po. Kaya na-encourage po sila, Your Honor.
Kaya ako po natanong dahil ako po naging mayor din ng 9 na taon at nakita ko rin ang buhay ng isang pulis. At ang pagkakaalam ko, sa aking pagkakaalam, ay ang mga pulis talagang allergic yan sa kaso. Di ho ba? Na minsan yung simpleng meron hong nanghara sa amin, tinitsarahan ng pulis, nung nakapasok na sa kanilang bakuran, ayaw nang pasukin ng pulis dahil makakasuhan. Ang pulis generally, General Losa, ay tama ho ba na medyo takot kayo sa kaso? Kumbaga, hindi kayo basta-basta gagalaw o susunod o papasok sa isang misyon na kung sa tingin nyo kayo ay nasa alangan at makakasuhan.
Yes, Your Honor. Dahil kami po ay taga-implementar ng batas. Hindi po kami taga-break ng batas. Kaya takot kami sa batas, Your Honor.
Ang isa lang din pong gusto ko lang kung nakita ko doon sa laban sa kriminalidad at lalong-lalo na sa droga, napakabigat na laban to. Maging kami po, Madam Chair, even during my time as mayor, I don't think the LGUs missed out on this. We all supported the police force. I'm sure that General De La Rosa can attest to this, that without the support of the LGU, with the vehicles, with the radios, with the firearms and other equipment, may hirapan ang ating kapulisan na labanan ang mga sindikato. Ang my point is, Madam Chair, tuwing nagkakaroon ho ng kaso ang isang pulis, na ito po nakita ko, kinasuhan ng isang dating kapitan namin na allegedly rin to, no? Medyo may connection din sa droga. 2 pulis po 'yon. Nasuspindi po sila. Siyempre lumapit po sila, humihingi ng tulong. Kapag nasususpindi po ang pulis, wala ho silang sweldo, lahat ng benepisyo ay tigil. Tama ho ba, General De La Rosa?
Yes, Your Honor.
At habang naglilitis, habang ongoing ang kaso, ang tanong ko lang ho, bakit wala ba ho tayong ang ating pong legal service ba hindi tumutulong o umaalalay sa ating mga kapulisan kapag sila po ay may mga kaso?
Tumutulong po, Your Honor, pero kulang na kulang po. We are 160,000 strong yung kapulisan natin. Granting 10% of them magkakaroon ng kaso. So, 160,000 na tao, ilan na po yung aming legal service. Kulang talaga, Your Honor.
So, yan po ang rason kung bakit kadalasan yung mga pulis kasi may kaso, lumalapit ho sa amin dahil talagang ni pambayad sa abogado ay wala ho silang maibayad. Nakakaawa ho talaga. At yan po nakita ko, Madam Chair, in my experience as a mayor, I saw how our honest policemen, because of lack of funds to pay for their own lawyers, most often than not, they will not show up. Madalas hindi na lang sila nagpapakita sa mga kaso dahil ang kalaban po nila ay halimbawa isang drug syndicate, may pera po sila. At kadalasan, sad to say, I don't know for what reason, technical at nadidismiss ang kaso. General De La Rosa, gusto ko lang sagutin nyo, ito ba ay nangyayari sa ordinaryong police kapag nagkakaso sila na ang kalaban nila ay may bigat na sindikato, ay bigla na lamang napapadismiss ito? Dahil nga maraming rason, no? Pwedeng ang police hindi na tinalo up dahil nga walang pambayad ng abogado o kaya dahil sa koneksyon ng mga sindikato.
Totoo po yan, Your Honor. At kung hindi ka po naging LGU executive, chief executive, hindi mo po maramdaman yung problema na yan, Your Honor. pasalamat po kami sa iyo at alam na alam mo yung problema ng ating kapulisan, Your Honor.
Yun nga po, Madam Chair, actually, I can really relate, no? Because, and I'd like to thank you also. This might be my last before I serve by suspension. But, gusto ko lang pong linawin, no? Dahil ito po ay very much related. Kasi ako po, kakayanin ko po, we have our lawyers. What I am really sad about is that plight of our honest law enforcers. Nakita ko yan. Pambayad na abogado, wala sila. Habang sila'y suspendido, wala rin silang pambayad, wala silang pangpakain sa kanilang pamilya. Nangyayari ho yan. Di ho ba, Gerald De La Rosa?
Very true po, Your Honor. Nagpasalamat po kami at sinasabi mo.
Yun po, ang sa akin lang ho, kapag ginawa ng ating kapulisan ang kanilang trabaho, they are risking their lives, they are risking their careers. Ang nakakalungkot lang, mukhang sila pa ngayon, ginawa natin na trabaho, inarmasan natin mga pulis, lumaban ng pulis, ngayon po ay sila pa ang kinakasuhan. I just like to ask, Madam Chair, kung if I may, sa CHR, Chairman Gascon, do you have a data or statistics as to how many extrajudicial killings you are handling right now?
Kasalukuyan po sa tala ng media at ng pulis, wala pa po kami sa 15% ng aming mga investigators ang may hawak na mga kasong sinusubaybayan. Ang intention po namin, tulad rin po ng IAS, ay ultimately maimbestigahan lahat. Pero kasalukuyan, nasa 150 cases of the cases that were stated earlier that we have an active investigation on.
I'd just like to ask also, among all the, siguro general lang, do you have cases naman that the victims this time are the police officers or the armed forces? Gaano ho karami? If so, how many are there?
Normally po, yung mga cases na hinahandle namin involving human rights violations, often ang respondent po yung security forces. But there is one we have been informed that involves a police officer in Cebu. But the general rule is the cases that come to us involve complaints against security officers.
So it's not often that the law enforcers or the security forces or the members of the armed forces are the victims. That, kumbaga,
Well, we know, anyone can be a victim of human rights violations because every person has human rights, including the members of the police force. However, we have a higher standard or obligation on the part of the government in terms of being duty bearers. So when the police, for example, are in uniform and perform their duties and obligations under the police operation procedures, they are expected to comply with human rights standards. In fact, Your Honor, in the police operation procedure, Rule 1, functions of a police officer, Rule 1.1 says to serve and protect. The second, Rule 1.2, is to observe human rights and the dignity of the person. So, this is part of the obligations of our men in uniform. And what happens is from time to time when there are lapses, we receive complaints and we process those complaints in due course.
So do you have a data as to how many cases you are handling right now vis-a-vis police and military against vis-a-vis the criminal or other persons?
Kung ang tanong po nyo ay kung meron pong kaso na iniimbestigahan namin ay na ang biktima ay ang pulis, sa aming record, ang sabi ay isa lang at naganap po sa Cebu. Kasi po, anyway, kung meron pong mga paglabag halimbawa sa mga ginagawa ng pulis, meron pong batas na nalalabag doon kaagad, yung disrespect to a person in authority. So normally po, hindi po mapunta sa Commission on Human Rights yung complaints ng police dahil meron po silang internal system to enforce the law.
Okay, thank you. Madam Chair, last po, again, thank you. I just like to relay my my experience again, and because the policemen are human too, and we just have to give them also the support, because the risk that they take in undertaking these dangerous operations, kumbaga, they're either risking their lives, their benefits, everything, their careers. So we just have to, we just have to also consider, no, that they are also human. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next is Senator Escudero.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Una po sa lahat, nais kong batiin si General De La Rosa sa kanyang gigil, init, sigasig at sinseridad sa pakikipaglaban sa napakalaking problema